Namaste to all of all students. Myself JVN Dr. Khushbu Verma from Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science. Today we are going to discuss about gametogenesis, and this session is related to cell biology course of program BTech FBT and BSc FST second sem. So first of all, in the gametogenesis we are going to discuss about the male gametogenesis, which is also known as spermatogenesis. So male start producing sperms when they reach puberty, which is usually from 10 to 16 years old. Sperm are produced in large quantities, approximately 200 millions of a day, uh, to maximize the likelihood of sperm reaching the egg. Sperm are continually produced as males need to be ready to utilize the small window of fertility of the female. The sperm production occurs in the testes of a male, specifically in the seminiferous tubules. The tubules are kept separated from the systematic circulation by the blood testis barrier. The blood testis barrier is formed by the Sertoli cells and is important in preventing hormones and constituents of the systematic circulation from affecting the developing sperm, and also in preventing the immune system of the male by from recognizing the sperm as foreign, as the sperm are genetically different from the male and will express different surface antigens. Sertoli cells also have a role in supporting the developing spermatozoa. Now come to the spermatogonia. So spermatogonia are the initial pool of diploid cell that divide by the mitosis to give the two identical cells. One of these cells will be used to replenish the pool of spermatogonia. These cells are A1 spermatogonia. This replenishment of spermatogonia means that males are fertile throughout their adult life. The other cell, which is type B spermatogonium, will eventually form mature sperm. Type B spermatogonia replicated by the mitosis several times to form identical diploid cells linked by the cytoplasm bridge. These cells are now known as primary spermatocytes. Primary spermatocytes then undergo into the meiosis process. Meiosis 1, which produces two haploid cells known as secondary spermatocytes, then in meiosis 2, which produces finally four haploid cells known as spermatids. The cytoplasmic bridges break down and spermatids are released into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule, a process called spermiation. The spermatids undergo the spermiogenesis, means remodeling and the differentiation into the mature spermatozoa as they travel along the seminiferous tubules until they reach the epididymis. From the seminiferous tubule, they travel to the rate testis, which acts to concentrate the sperm by removing excess fluid before moving to the epididymis, where the sperm is stored and undergoes the final stage of the maturation. Spermatogenesis takes approximately 70 days. Therefore, in order for sperm production to be continuous and not intermittent, multiple spermatogonic processes are occurring simultaneously within the same seminiferous tubule, with new groups of spermatogonia arising every 16 days. Means this is known as spermatogonic cycle. Each of these populations of spermatogenic cells will be at different stages of the spermatogenesis. You can understand this process by this flow diagram, by which you can understand more spermatogenesis. Here this is 2n spermatogonium, which is 2n means diploid in nature. It will go for many mitosis process which will create the primary spermatocytes. They are diploid in nature. Then they are going to the meiosis 1, which is meiosis division part 1, which create a haploid secondary spermatocytes. Then they go under the meiosis 2, which creates four haploid spermatids. These spermatids will further go to the spermiogenesis process, which create the mature sperms, which are also known as spermatozoa. So this is called spermatogenesis and or male gametogenesis. Now we will discuss about the female gametogenesis or oogenesis. So, oogenesis differs from the spermatogenesis in that it begins in the fetus prior to birth. Primordial germ cells, which originate in the yolk sac of the embryo, move to the colonize the cortex of the primordial gonad and replicate by the mitosis to peak at approximately 7 million by mid gestation, approximately 20 weeks cycle. Cell death occurs after this peak to leave 2 million cells, which begins meiosis 1 before birth and are known as primary oocytes. Therefore, a human female is born with approximately 2 million primary oocytes arrested in meiosis, and these make up a finite supply of potential ova. The primary oocytes are arranged in the gonads in clusters surrounded by flattened epithelial cells called follicular cells, and these form primordial follicles. The primary oocytes are arrested in prophase stage of meiosis 1. Next one is the antral stage. Fluid filled spaces from form between granulosa cells. These eventually combine together to form a central fluid filled space called the antrum. The follicles are now called secondary follicles. In each monthly cycle, one of these secondary follicles becomes dominant and develops further under the influence of FSH, LH, and estrogens. Next one is the pre-ovulatory stage, and the LH surge induces this stage, and meiosis 1 is now complete. Two haploid cells are formed within the follicle, but they are of unequal size. One of the daughter cell receives far less cytoplasm than the other and form the first polar body, which will not go on to form an ovum. The other haploid cell is known as the secondary oocyte. Both daughter cells then undergo into the meiosis second stage. The first polar body will replicate it to give two polar bodies, but the secondary oocyte arrested in metaphase of meiosis second, 3 hours prior to the ovulation process. Next stage is ovulation. So the follicle has grown in the size and is now mature. It is called a graphene follicle. The LH surge increases the collagenase activity of that the follicular wall is weakened. That combined with the muscular contraction of ovarian wall results in the ovum being released from the ovary and being taken up into the fallopian tube via the fimbriae, which is finger-like projection of a fallopian tube. Next step is fertilization process. So the secondary oocyte will only complete meiosis second on fertilization process, giving off a third polar body once meiosis second is completed and a fertilized egg. If fertilization never occurs, the oocyte degenerates 24 hours after the ovulation, remaining arrested in meiosis second. If the egg is fertilized, however, the pericytolytic movement of the fallopian tube move the egg to the uterus where it can implant into the posterior uterine wall. You can understand this oogenesis process by this flow diagram, and you can understand it more. This is primary oocyte, and this primary oocytes go for the primary oocyte communicating maturation. Then these are the secondary oocytes after completion of the meiosis 1, and this one is the first polar body which is having very less cytoplasm. When and these secondary oocyte, when it go for the fertilization, then it can complete the meiosis second. Otherwise they will remain into the meiosis second, they will be arrested. So at the final stage, you will get the mature ovum, which is fertilized, and three polar bodies with the help of oogenesis process. So this is the sum up of this session. And if you are talking about key points related to this session, so first of all, major question is what is the basic difference in between spermatogenesis and oogenesis? And second question is what is spermiogenesis? What do you understand by the spermiogenesis? And what is the main fate of the male gametogenesis? So these are the key points related to this session, and this session is powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University Jaipur. If you have any query, then mention in the comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.